Hello and good morning for the second time. I had a bit of a technical issue with my graphics card and my pre-market video, which I did all the levels in. Basically I just was talking over a blank screen, so hopefully it's working now. I can see it on my preview candle as well, and I missed the comments saying that I need to keep an eye on comments. It's a shame YouTube doesn't give you a notification or something when a comment comes in. Anyway, I'm going to quickly go over my levels now live while the market's open. I've got a bit of room. So what I'm watching for today is the 43, 44 to 43, 45 rejection area. Hang on, let's close that. Oh, got another YouTube. Right, so 43, 45 is a rejection area which I'm watching for, and that is basically covering the gap we had over the weekend. So we had a bit of a big gap down at the weekend, and so I'm looking for it to fill the gap, and 43, 45, 43, 50 is the area I'm looking to reject. So I'll be layering in at this area as well. So I'll be taking one at 43, 45, another layer at 43, 50. And the good thing about this is we've got our defined stop area as well, which is 43, 59. 43.60 is our stop, so we can manage our risk quite well with this trade. So if we can't, and in fact I will take one last layer just before the stop as well, and if we see a rejection, then that would be a great trade down. As for bounces, I'm watching. We've already been in there in the pre-market, but I'm waiting for it to come back down to 43.01, 4300. We've got the rise in 50 moving average in the area as well, and what used to be support, we used to have support, and then we broke down on Wednesday last week, I think it was, and then we came back up, retested, so we've now become the ceiling. So we've got the ceiling couldn't quite break through, and then on Friday we broke through quite convincingly. We came back down to retest it. So what was once the ceiling is now the floor, and over here was once the floor became the ceiling. So that's the area these are the two trades I'm waiting for today: 43, 45 and 4300, and I'll be looking to layer in these trades. So take the initial entry and then add a second, and then my stop, again we've got a defined stop area here, which would be that lower pivot. So 42.99 is a potential stop. If we see continued selling, also we'll be closing them below the 50 moving average, and then the next area I'll be watching for is a potential bounce around here. One thing to note as well, where we are in the pre-market, going back to this last trade, but from that point through to that point, this is exactly 50%, and we can prove that by looking at the fibs. As you can see, the fibs is right on the 50% level as well, so it looks like it'll be a good area. So that's what I'm watching for, so for potential bounce back down here. And like I said, if we do break down through this area, potentially looking for a break and retest for the short with a target of Friday's, probably Thursday's lows initial and Friday's lows, and then we can play by ear. But if you look on the longer trend, we put in a bottom at this point, 43.35, putting in a higher low at this point and a higher high, so we break this pivot here, and potentially the 50% retracement is our lower, it's our higher low, and we could be looking to push back up. So these are areas to watch out for. SPY is very similar as well. So no trades at the moment, just keeping an eye on. And one thing I'm watching as well is Bookmap. We can see this massive area of sellers around this area, and we pushed through it a little bit more. And when I did this video in the pre-market, we had big sellers around this area at 43.25, 43.30, still there. So 43.45 is the area I'm waiting for rejection. And like I said, I did say I was going to sit out for the first quarter of an hour to see which way the market's going to go. So I'm not in any rush to take a trade yet. SPY on the hourly. We got the gap fill to wait for, so this area here, 43.30 to 43.31, and again if we use the top of that pivot as our out, or even 42.432 as a stop area if you want to be a bit riskier with your stop. So we got a defined entry at 44.31 roughly, 431.90, and we got a defined stop. And then again, the tops of these candles, like in the ES, 425.40 for a potential bounce, and it's a rise in 50. And the hourly trend is changing as well. I think if we can break this pivot, then we're on an hourly change of trend, 432. Looking at Qs. In fact, if we look at Qs and compare NASDAQ with ES right now, ES is looking stronger. So we've got ES has broken the pre-market highs, whereas Qs is struggling at that level. Hasn't quite broken through yet. Look at the futures market. Natural gas is up today. Oil gapped up. It's a big sell-off on Friday. So we sold off Friday, came into that level, which I'll get to in my trade plan in a second. We're right in the middle, so I'm waiting for a potential trade on that today. We're looking at weeklies going to daily, a bit easy to see. There we go. So saw a big sell-off on Friday. All of last week sold off, and that's on oil. What do we see here on the daily? Potential bear flag on NASDAQ. Significant area here, 4400, that's the neckline of the head and shoulders. Natural gas is putting in a pivot high, and in fact I've lost my volume. Let's put my volume back in. Volume bar froze. I'm going to share. Apply to all. So interesting to see natural gas increase in volume whilst we're pushing up, potentially looking at ending volume around this area, and so we might be waiting for it to pull back. So if you're looking to go long, I wouldn't like to go short just yet unless it's a scalp on natural gas, but long at 3, that's a nice round number. Look at that, $3, and it's a pivot here. We couldn't break it. We finally broke it last week, so I think the best trade will be coming back to $3 on natural gas. Okay, that's it, nothing really significant. I just wanted to just go through that quickly. Let's go back to the levels for today. So Qs looking a bit weaker than SPY and ES, but it's just breaking out actually, pre-market. So you're looking for a quick scalp, maybe a break and retest of this area for a long. But the gap fill on the hourly, 366 area, 365.91. It's potential area, so this entire area, potentially looking for a rejection around here. Let's look at NASDAQ. Look at that, same area as well. So same area for rejection. So this gap fill. We're looking at, this is a 4 hour. Let's go into the hourly. Seems very sluggish. My PC feels a bit sluggish today. So watching this area, 15,120 through to 15,160. So this is the entry area, stop above this area. And then finally, oil. Look at that. MES is coming into a rejection area. I'll come back to that in a second. Oil if any of you have been watching my pre-market videos, this is an area I've had in mind for some time. Big area of volume as well, and I've been waiting for the pullback. Today was going to be the day I was going to take the break off that candle, but we gapped up in the post-market because of the war in Israel. I think oil and natural gas it's gained in price, and obviously ES and NASDAQ has dropped in price, so gap down. So it's looking strong. So there's no point chasing up here. I'm going to wait for it to come back down to that area. So if we are going to see a bit of a strength move, a rally, I want to see it come back, put in a higher low, and then push up. So if we can get back down, a double bottom at 82.34 would be great. If not, then I'll be looking for a potential pullback. But 84 to 83, 83 to 84, that area. Bit annoying because I was going to take that trade today had we broken that level, but it's already gone. And as you know, the reason I've been waiting for that trade for some time, been talking about it for a few months now, is we got this area here. Let's just zoom out a bit. So if you look at the last year, we've been unable to break this 80 area. So we've been testing it, testing it, testing it. We tested it here as well. Came back and tested it again, 82 area. Came back in, and we finally broke through. And so now this is the area I was waiting for it to come back. And I said quite a few times, if it comes back in this area, I do want to take it. I really want to get confirmation. Maybe if I was confident in if I had conviction, maybe I should have just taken it as it was coming down, you know, like the smart money or the hedge funds would do, and then averaging, I would have averaged in at a decent price. But you know, you can't predict the war, can you? So unfortunately, sad as the events are going on in Israel, really sad to hear about what happened at that concert or festival. Obviously someone's going to gain in the market and someone's going to lose in the market, and oil and natural gas is gaining today based on that bad news. Okay, that's it really. I'm going to keep an eye on trades now, getting close to, like, I've had a quarter of an hour now, so now I'm looking for potential entries. So let's see where we are with MES. So, I wasn't interested in taking these levels until I want to see the market just pick a direction, which it looks like it has now. It's an inside day, don't forget. So this is Friday's candle, and we opened up smack bang in the middle, which makes 43.45 quite a good area to watch for. So that's an area I'm waiting for a reject. And most markets, if you have a big moving day, the next day generally is a smaller day. Let's get rid of these fibs. So we can see that by looking, we had 2 big moving days in a row here, and we had 2 pretty smaller days there. Big day there, a smaller day here, couldn't really, generally that's the case. Bigger day here, smaller day, bigger day here, slightly smaller day, big moving day there with a smaller day. Look at this, big moving day, this series of smaller days. 2 big moving days in a row, and then each time off the clock to catch up. So anyway, I think that's it really. That's my levels. I'm going to concentrate on trading now, getting to coming into an area I'm watching for. So waiting for it to get up to 43.44 for a rejection. Okay, well, thank you for watching. Sorry my first video didn't work out that well. Hopefully these levels have helped, and don't forget to hit the like button if you found this useful. Okay, thanks for watching.